Hello, um, my name is Lysander Xanthus, and today I am just going to talk a little bit about twin flame soulmates and similar kind of things. It's a topic that comes up pretty often in reading, so I thought I would just kind of record my point of view on the subject. Uh, so I would like everyone to keep in mind that Uh, everything I say is just my opinion, are my opinions based on my experiences. So, if anything I say doesn't resonate with you, you're welcome to disregard it. Just keep what does. In the end, you can only trust your own gut feeling and sense of ringing true. So, so to me, let's start with soulmates. In my experience, the universe has given all of us multiple soulmates because it wants us to have multiple opportunities to be happy. And soulmates, I believe that souls come in groups, so you have soul groups. Everyone has their own thought on how many souls are in a group. I personally think it's 9. And what constitutes a soulmate is that this group of souls have a similar elemental composition, like what their soul is made of. So, like for just as an example, the group of souls would have like a basis in water in their deepest selves. And so sometimes soul pools can overlap each other, and that's how you get larger groups that interact throughout lifetimes and over again. So you have multiple, and you're even outside of the group of 9, you're compatible even still with the larger groups that form as well. Sorry, it's just not sure if I was going to sneeze. So that is how I view soulmates. And so a soulmate can incarnate, just as you can incarnate as anything, so can your soulmates. So just because someone is a soulmate doesn't mean that you are supposed to be in a romantic or sexual relationship with them, or that you have to be. They can incarnate as a family member, someone of an orientation or gender that you're not attracted to. They could be really a lot younger than you or a lot older. They could be an animal, or depending, they could be like a tree or plant, or they could be on different planes of existence. And even if it is someone who is romantically viable, it doesn't mean that you are supposed to be with them or are obligated to or need to be. And that's because I see that love is a choice. We have the gift of free will. So we are free to love and build that bond with whoever we choose. We have spiritual bonds that do exist, but that alone does not obligate you to love someone in a particular time that you come across each other. And it is not necessary to have those bonds if there's someone that you would like to share in love with. So I think that is that. Twin flames. Again, these are my own, based on my own experiences, reading for people and other things. Twin flames are quite rare. And the reason is because, at least that I've seen and experienced, a twin flame is someone or two people that make up two polarities or two sides of a coin. So they are two parts of a cosmic archetype. So these people the twin flames would have to be embodying a larger archetype or cosmic force to warrant needing a twin flame. So it's as if this great force or archetype has been put in two because in our world we were all created so that we would need each other. So because it's in two parts and they're both necessary, they don't have to be together, they just both need to exist for that force to be able to function. So obviously the majority of us are not incarnated archetypes like a war or freedom or a prosperity, etc. Like a lot like we think of deities as representing these things. So they are very uncommon. I am familiar with the listed, I guess, signs of a twin flame, and it's usually, the list consists of like the way the dynamic plays out and the relationship. And unfortunately, at least that I personally have noticed, that the sometimes twin flame is applied to relationships that are really just toxic or one-sided, or used to justify harmful situations or behavior. So it is actually far less common, and not everyone, most of us do not have one because we are not representing a force that needs that balance. It's kind of like when you have twin flames, one person is like a car and the other person is like a driver with a key. And you need both of them to at least exist to really get somewhere. So one is not more important than the other. The car can't go anywhere without the driver. Without the key, it will just sit and rust. And the driver can't go anywhere on their own, even though they have the power of the key to make the car go. They need the car to go anywhere at all. So obviously together, you can drive. I don't know if that's the best analogy, that's just what I've come up with so far. And that is what a twin flame is like. And because of that deep necessity for each other, it makes the relationship very overwhelming. And that is why sometimes you have someone who is sometimes referred to as the runner. The runner should not be running away because they don't want to be with their partner. They feel overwhelmed. Because it's such an unusual experience of vulnerability. And something that is... So that's how I think of it. Just kind of collecting my thoughts. Again, like with soulmates, just because someone, even if someone is your twin flame, does not mean you are required to be involved with them in a relationship, nor does it mean that if you're not with them that you're doomed and you'll never be happy. That is not the case. You still also have soulmates. And again, just like soulmates, your twin flame may not be incarnated as what you in this lifetime consider a romantically viable partner. The universe doesn't adhere to our ideas and preferences romantically and as a society of what that should be. So your twin flame could be, again, a relative, your own child, an animal, like a pet. They could be a lion in Africa. They could be a magical tree on a different plane of existence. They could be someone much younger, much older. the same gender, the opposite gender. Uh, they could live a lifestyle that you fundamentally disagree with, or that you have moral objections to. You could be have like staunch beliefs, and they could be like the living embodiment of everything that you're against. Like if you, like, just for example, if you don't like gay people, they could be gay. Um, what makes someone your soulmate or twin flame is that composition, or the way the soul is made up and the way your soul is made up. And that's why there's that pull to each other, and why those kind of interactions tend to happen. And it has nothing to do with your personal ideas of what you want out of a romantic partner. Let's see. I think the other thing I wanted to mention, just very briefly, is the idea of soul contracts. There is a very popular belief that before each incarnation we get together with our soul pool or other souls, and we made contracts or agreements to play out roles together throughout our lives, and that things are planned. There's some different ideas of they're kind of planned or they're totally planned, either to learn lessons or accomplish a goal or what have you. Soul contracts, again, these are just my opinions and experiences. Soul contracts are real. However, only for some people. Some people and some soul groups absolutely do get together and make specific plans and agreements, but not most of us. That is kind of something that can be discussed in its own video. But it's just I feel it relates to twin flames and soulmates, because it's like another idea of a spiritual bond that you have with someone. So whatever, so you can have that kind of spiritual bond. You can also have bonds just from having known each other through one or several past lives. The soul can create attachments to other souls as well, just like we do in life. Whether they are good for us or bad for us, we can cling to people. And that's why also sometimes there's a draw or magnetism towards certain people. So regardless of whatever spiritual relationship or foundation you have with another person, those spiritual bonds can be to your benefit or to your detriment. And just because there's a spiritual bond of some kind there does not mean you have to be in a relationship with them, or that if you're not in a relationship with them, you're doomed. And you don't have to be involved with them at all if you don't want to. Free will trumps all. And love trumps all. And love is a choice, ultimately. So, and if you don't have any of those spiritual bonds with someone, you could still choose to love them and create something with them. So you always have a choice. Sometimes these spiritual bonds are either used as a justification to be with someone who's not great with us, or to tolerate poor behavior. And it's whether that is true or not. Often it isn't true, but even when it is not a reason to tolerate being mistreated. And sometimes these spiritual bonds, or the evidence of them, are sometimes used by people to manipulate you into tolerating their behavior or your relationship with them, even when it's detrimental. And often they are incorrect, but even if they are, that is not a reason to tolerate. So I felt like I wanted to say that, just based on the many things that have come up over the many readings about love and different kinds of relationships. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I think I just want to leave off with that. Uh, you have the great gift of free will and the great gift of love, and that you can choose to love. And I think that's a really great thing, and to recognize the place of soulmates and other kinds of bonds in your life. They are important, and most of the time when they are there, they are positive. It's just want to point out that when they're not, that that spiritual bond doesn't obligate you to have to tolerate it. So, um, let me know what you think in the comments below. I welcome your opinions and um, open discussion. Again, this is just my experience and view of things. For anyone who is interested, take what is useful to you and leave the rest. So, thank you for watching and joining me, and I will see you all again next time. Be blessed.